All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call this meeting to order. Declare that we do have a quorum. Welcome to all of our guests this evening. We have quite a bit of business to go through this evening, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Call the Board of City Commissioner meetings to order with the quorums, discuss some possible action on removal of any item from the consent agenda. If not, can I have possible action on the consent agenda?
Make a motion. Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. All right, thank you. Item 6, discussion and possible action on staff's request to reinvest a general fund certificate deposit with local bank for 329 days at 4.76 interest.
Make a motion, we reinvest the general fund certificate of deposit with local bank, 329 days at 4.76%.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Item 7, discussion and possible action on resolution 2025-01, which approves an agreement between the city of Southall and the Oklahoma Department of Transportation for federal aid program project number NHPP-168N179FP, job piece number 2310707 for the modification of the traffic signals at US 59 North and US 64 in the city of Southall, Sequoia County. Mr. Heavily?
So Mayor, if I can, what this is we're removing the loops for the traffic signals, and we're actually gonna put motion sensors in the lights, or on the light poles, to modernize that intersection.
What's the cost to us?
Robin, the cost to us, nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
So this is an agreement that they install it and we maintain it with periodic touch points with the department, to make sure that they're still adequate, et cetera.
Okay.
But I know there was a very, very generic modification of traffic signals in the agreement that you all have in your packets. But it is modifying them to have motion sensors on the light poles and basically bring them up to modern standards versus the loops in the ground.
We also have some verbiage in there for the camera, to install the cameras on there as well. I think they will install those and then we will maintain them, but if there is any cost associated, it would probably be regarding the camera system.
Okay. Motion?
Make a motion, we approve the agreement between the city of Southall, or resolution 2025-01. Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. All right, item 8, discussion on proposed ordinance prohibiting unauthorized camping on city-owned land and possible direction to staff. Who wants this one?
So I'll intro this one and then pass it over to Jordan. What this is a proposed ordinance that would mirror the state's language that would prohibit camping on public grounds. And I'll pass it over to Jordan for any.
Yeah, so beginning in November of last year, the state passed pretty much an identical law that penalized unlawful camping on state property, whether it be on the side of the road or even in campgrounds. And so I drafted this ordinance just to reflect what the state's already doing, so that we can address those that are sleeping or camping in places that they shouldn't be.
And I believe the fine is actually half of what the state allows. So,
$50.
yeah, so the state allows, state ordinance code, allows for $100.
So I guess this will be the city library.
Any city property,
Any city or state property.
any city or state property. And the fine only comes into account if they are unwilling to cooperate and be pointed in the right direction by law enforcement as they enforce this. And I say pointed in the right direction, you can read in the ordinance, I don't wanna get it, wrong, but Jordan's got specific language in there as to the resources that are available to any individual before they are fined. And correct me if I'm wrong too, it's may cite, it's not will cite.
Right.
So that the law enforcement officer still has the discretion as to whether or not to cite the individual.
This will just give them a backing.
Yes.
Authority to take action.
Okay.
Can you guys speak into the mic so we can hear you?
We're trying.
Turn it up a little.
We'll try to increase the volume a little bit.
What did you miss? I'm sorry. So the city ordinance, it mirrors, in a Reader's Digest version, it mirrors the state law that went into effect last fall. Provides officers, law enforcement, the legal backing to remove individuals camping in public property. And it is half the fine that the state allows, and the fine is only a may, not shall, and that is after an individual, once confronted, refuses to move or refuses any assistance offered by the law enforcement officer. And it is specific in the ordinance as to what would be offered by the officer before any citation or money comes into play. Is that?
That's exactly
Okay.
right.
Can we have a motion to approve that?
Well, this just says guidance, it doesn't ask
So
for a
what we want to
motion.
do, what we want to do is bring you a draft first and receive guidance from you all before we put an ordinance in front of you for a yes, or for a thumbs up or thumbs down.
I think we'll move ahead with it, yes.
Okay, so pending any different guidance in between, we'll bring this to you for final next month.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Number 9, discussion and possible action on Planning Commission case number PC 2024-009, replat presentation of Riggs duplex edition by Stirrup Creek Properties LLC. Mr. Carter?
So Mr. Riggs is wanting to replat this. The way it was platted really wasn't very conducive for what he was wanting to build. So I'm going to give you some handouts to show you what he's going from and going to. So currently, it's platted with tracks. And he's wanting to change these to where they're actual lots, so he can actually build on them.
28 lots.
Yeah, so the first page that you see is what it is currently platted. The second page is what he wants to change it to. So you see there that the current plats, the orphan plots all over the place. He wants to change it to what you see on the front to allow the footage is provided by ordinance to allow him to actually build on these properties.
Correct. And Planning Commission did approve this, and staff would recommend approval.
Where's this at?
On Avalon, you know where Stirrup Creek Apartments are?
Between 59 and 17. Okay.
It's up there, and it's behind the Stirrup Creek Apartments.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I make a motion to approve the replat of Riggs duplex edition.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Okay, moving on to item 10, discussion and possible action on Planning Commission case number PC 2024-010, which is replat presentation of Fairview Edition by 55 Properties LLC.
What they're wanting to do on this piece of property, they're wanting to take these lots and cut them down, and they're wanting to build smaller homes on them. RT1 and RT2 are smaller homes. They require a smaller front yard, and they can only build up to an 800 square foot home on this property. Everything is ready for it. All we need to do, Planning Commission approved it. Austin is here, if you have questions and you want to know anything about it. Planning Commission did approve, and we would recommend approval as well.
I guess the ones on Main Street are built on cinder blocks, so will these be on the ground, or will they be on cinder blocks?
I think you were wanting to
These
do.
are gonna be built on a slab.
Okay,
Yeah, so they're gonna be built more like a house and be that style. So,
okay.
It's a modern version of shotgun house is what it is, correct? I mean, it's the same, that's exactly what it is, so. But they're nice.
The back page has pictures while they're on computer and
Okay. And Jordan, you're good with this?
Yes.
Okay. Make a motion, we approve of the replat of Fairview Edition.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. So a companion with that, discussion possible action on Planning Commission case number PC 2024-011, a rezoning request from Residence District R2 to medium-density residential, RT1, 55 Properties LLC and ordinance 2025-01 with an emergency clause. So there'd be two parts to this motion.
So on this one, we kind of had a typo on it from RT1, it should have been RT2. In reviewing this with Planning Commission, they noticed that, and with the plat being designed for RT2, they recommended to rezone it to RT2. And so that's the way they approved it. We sent letters, that was one of the things that Planning Commission requested, that we sent letters to the neighbors. We sent letters to the neighbors, let them know of the impending change, and they approved it that way, and staff would recommend approval as well.
Okay. Good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay, make a motion, we strike Planning Commission case number 2024-11 and ordinance 2025-01.
Second.
Did you say that again? Did you say strike it?
That's what it says on here.
Okay, we actually want to approve it.
I would recommend approving.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry. I'll make a motion, we
Yes,
make a motion, we approve Planning Commission case number 2024-11 and
Sorry.
ordinance 2025-01.
Second.
I just reading it off the paper.
I know, you're good, you're good, you're good.
Okay, let me catch up, because I thought we were striking two. Okay, so you approved the, and the ordinance.
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. The emergency clause?
You what?
Just,
Oh, and I'll make a motion for the emergency clause.
Second.
you're good.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Item 12, discussion possible action on Planning Commission case number PC 2024-012, a rezoning request from one-family residence District R1 to multifamily residence District R3 by Brian Senyard, Big Sky Investments, and ordinance number 2025-02 with an emergency clause.
So when we brought this case to Planning Commission, we found out in the meeting that the property had sold. Brian Senior does no longer own it. Another group owns it. And so, in talking with our city attorney, he said that we either needed to strike this or we needed to vote no on it. Because we advertised it under Brian Senior as the owner. And it's been changed, it changed hands.
I believe the process needs to be started over. We can't move forward with it. It needs to be advertised correctly.
Okay.
And the owner hasn't been notified of that.
Okay. You want,
Go ahead.
I make a motion to deny case number PC 2024-12 ordinance.
Second.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Mendiola,
yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes.
Thank
Now,
you.
your emergency clause motion would be to also deny 2025-02.
I make a motion to deny 2025-02
With emergency clause.
with emergency clause.
Second.
Thank you, Josh.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Okay, number 13, receive update on economic development and grant activities. That will be Mr. Borman.
Thank you. Got a little presentation here, there we go. Thank you, Ben. Just want to give you guys an update. Mainly I want to do it a little bit differently tonight. I wanted to give you an update on grants first. Typically haven't done that, haven't done it in a while, so if I get my little clicker to work. There we go. Can you pull that up? So for grants, what we work off of a Excel sheet. It's kind of a working document showing what we've got available, what we have applied for, what we've been approved for, what we've closed out. And we kind of, that's really small writing and I apologize for that. But essentially, we work off this document with Finance Department. And this is what we look at to show what we've got available. If you can go to the next slide, we'll just work off that, that way it'll be a little bit easier. I apologize, I didn't realize that writing was gonna look so small in this. So miscellaneous grant funding, this is everything from operational to projects, to equipment purchases. We have a little over $2 million active, which is a fantastic amount. That's just in this past year that we've applied for, been approved for, and we work with, for a total project amount of over $3 million. Of course, Salisaw now is part of, is in its own category. That was that yellow section that I showed you earlier. They're a little bit over $3 million for project totals. Upcoming applications, we discussed this with our new city manager a little bit. He's got some things he wants to apply for. We've got some things in the works. And we've got some grants that we typically apply for every year, such as through the Oklahoma Arts Council for Diamond Days or for the Red Autumn Arts Festival. And you can see that total for this upcoming year. And that's not all inclusive, because I feel like we're gonna have more come down the pipe. A little over $500,000, almost $600,000 this year, for a project total of, which will exceed $1 million. I've got $1 million limit, it'll be more than that. And then, of course, this past year, we've closed out an exponential amount of grants, $6 million worth of projects. And so those numbers will continue to increase. But one thing, when you're talking about grants, you have to remember, anytime you apply for a grant, you've got to match. So we got to have the money in the bank to apply towards a project. If we don't have it, we can't apply for it. So this is a little graphic from OMMS showing, this one is specifically our sales tax. And this is over the last, I think, since 2015, fiscal year 2015. And I thought it was interesting how we started to rise there about 2018, had a little rise there in 2017. About the time we got the ODVA, things started to increase a little bit. And whether that's the case, whether that's the catalyst that started everything or not, I guess you can make an argument, but that's when things started to increase. This is a fantastic graph. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to the screen so I can read it to you. There's some figure amounts. This is again from OMS. This is a sales tax rank. And you can make an argument about the number amount, because our sales tax may be less or more than other communities. But the incredible thing, and I don't know if you can see it, but that yearly differential is 8.5%. That yearly difference, 8.5%. And you compare that to other communities, the 5 that are above us, the 5 that are below us, and we're number 1. We're outpacing some towns we're familiar with. Podo, they always seem to be in a conversation. We talk about economic development, Salisaw, somebody will mention Podo and how we compare to them. Next figure's use tax. So use tax will be goods and services delivered in town. That number is pretty incredible. 36.29%. Compare that to communities that are our size, and we're leaps and bounds. We're making great progress. Gives you a pretty good snapshot of what we're doing and how economic development is going for our city. This thing is not working. There we go.
Nope.
So focus moving forward with economic development. We talked about this, I think, the last time I gave an update. Continue focus on primary jobs, ODVA, Millison, Aviagen, all those jobs that are considered quality jobs by the state that provide benefits and a good living wage where families will have expendable income at the end of the month, end of the week. We gotta focus on developing those. Industrial land, like we talked about before, we're about out of it. We've got to continue to explore options. Infrastructure support. Not only do we have to worry about land, but we got to worry about supporting the businesses that may go there, right? So when you develop a piece of property, a lot of the cost, and most of the cost is going to be in infrastructure. Of course, we want to look at the east side of town a little bit, west side as well, to be honest with you. Those areas need to be looked at. We need to recruit all we can to get those things, get those areas up and moving. And quality of life amenities, this thing's not working. Walkability, bikeability, have been talked about and discussed for several years now. You know, and I think it's, you know, Ms. Richardson's here. She's made a presentation to several groups. She's passionate about it, but I think that we've got to continue to look at how we can improve walkability in our town because it shows vitality, it shows life. You go through a community, you see clean sidewalks, or you see places where people can get outdoor activities. What does it show? It shows life. Lacey Walsh is here with OSU. She's partnered with us and I think two other communities through the high obesity program. And she's applied for it and been awarded a grant. You wanna talk about that just a little bit?
Sure, so I'm funded through the CDC, the High Obesity Program is, through OSU Extension Services. So we are one of 16 land-grant universities across the nation that has the high obesity funding. So we cover 10 different counties throughout the state of Oklahoma that we work in. And one of the areas that we work in is built environment, working with coalitions and community engagement. And so recently we had wrote for the National Transportation Grant for the Safe Streets for All. And so we wrote that on behalf of Taft, which is in Muskogee County, Westville, that's in Adair County, and then Sallisaw. And so this is a really unique partnership that we have through OSU, through OU, through their Institute of Quality Communities. So they have different architect students that are going to be coming down to help with some community engagement. Hopefully the weather cooperates. I guess we'll see. If not, we'll try to reschedule it. But we'll be doing some different walkability studies. They want to see the town. And so that's going to be on January 27th. I'm still trying to kind of work out final details. They're planning to be here at 9 a.m. because they're hitting all 3 communities back to back. So, but the grant funding part is actually going to fund an engineer firm called Kinley Horn that's actually going to be able to help do this different safety analysis and be able to provide a plan for the city of Sallisaw that could be used to help hopefully fund different grants and things like that. So.
Lacey's a great resource. We were thankful that she included us in her project to get this walkability engineered and designed. And I don't know if you're familiar with IQC's work, but they do a great job. They've worked all throughout the state, go into communities, they'll set up different scenarios on projects and they'll involve the community and the public. And so very great opportunity to be here on the 27th, like Lacey said. So. ODVA, their opening ceremony is on February 21st. No time has been set yet. I checked with Nisha today, project manager today. No time has been set. But we're excited, a long time coming. Grand opening for QTs, March the 6th. That'll be fun to be a part of as well. I try to keep it short tonight. You guys have any questions?
I do not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Orman. Item 14, receive update on current and future projects. Mr. Miller?
Good evening. I know some of you went by the Aquatic Center. They've made some great strides over there, getting that up and going. One of the buildings is in the dry completely, which is very impressive with the amount of time they've actually had to work. This weather hasn't really hurt them. They've got a lot of things worked ahead. Even on the swimming pool side, if you haven't been by, the concrete has been laid down for the swimming pool, which is a big milestone in this project, having that in the ground. So next part of that project will be them doing some of the remainder of the underground piping that connects to this system, working towards the pump house. They do have the pump house dug. They have the floor of the pump house put in. That was, slowed down by the snow, of course, or they would have worked continuing building the walls. Past that, they're really kind of ahead of schedule. So we're hoping that things keep going this way, and possibly we could open this aquatic park just a little bit sooner than what was originally anticipated, which was only gonna give us about a month of operation. Hopefully, we'll get an additional month out of it if things keep going the way they're going right now. The Drake Lennington Water Project is going very well. 70% complete, which is basically almost 100% of the pipe in the ground. The only thing that remains with the pipe in the ground are the 2 connections on each end. Once that is done, then they can flush the system, do the sanitizing. Once they pass their ODEQ testing, at that point, they can hook up the new water meters, and that loop will be complete. So hopefully, within the next month, we're looking at that being finalized for you. We're also looking forward to, well, we haven't got to that yet, the East Drake Water Loop. We can save that till a little bit later time. I think you've got that coming up later. Future, Mr. Heverly, Mr. Borman, and I spoke with a local developer this past week, who's looking at doing, you would classify it as a light commercial or a heavy commercial, light industrial type development. We've started doing some due diligence on that project, and the developer is very excited. He really wants to do this project, so we'll keep working towards that. Once we get a little more information, we'll come back with you and let you know how that's going. So, past that, if you have any other questions, be happy to answer them for you.
Can we get some of the drawings for the pool? Maybe just, I don't remember what it looks like. It's been in the works so long. Just maybe put it on Facebook.
Sure.
I'd like, you know, what the end result's gonna look like.
That water project you said we're gonna cover later, is that the one for Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
The one-
It's on the SMA.
SMA.
Yeah.
Yes, we had
That's our
that,
next meeting, Josh.
Okay.
we had that bid opening. Scott Neal did review the bids on that and made his recommendation, so we'll cover that a little bit later.
But yeah, I don't see a problem why we can't get the drawings out.
Yeah, just post them on
don't-
Facebook or something.
Do we
Some-
have an artist rendering of what we think
Yes,
it's
we
gonna,
have
yeah,
some
let's,
renderings.
we can get, absolutely, we can get that.
Yeah, just maybe some pictures of it, where it's at right now, and then, you know, just show some progress on it.
Yeah.
It's not for me, no.
Renderings of pools and some current pictures.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Just kind of show where we're going.
Okay,
Actually, that's,
Just keep them aware.
nope, we need to do that.
we can do that.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Okay. I guess that brings us up to an administrative report. Is that gonna be Mr. Heverly tonight?
It is, yes, sir. So, oh, well.
Oh, did I miss
that's
financial,
not
I'm
me.
sorry,
Yeah.
financial report.
Well, no, you're
Robin, you're
okay.
standing
Robin's
right
just
there.
waiting.
My bad.
It's okay. I'm
Stomach's
walking this
growling,
side
Robin,
better.
and I just moved that fast.
My
I'm
joke
sorry.
on math, there's 3 kinds of people who can do math, those that can add and those that can't. Got it.
Moving right along. Go ahead, Robin, yeah.
So our sales tax for December was $740,000. That's an increase of $115,000 from last December. The use tax is $131,000, and that's an increase of $45,000 from last December. We're 6 months into our current fiscal year, so that would put us at 50% of our budgetary goals. So for the general fund, our revenues are at 52%, our expenses are at 51%, so right on track. SMA revenues, taxes are at 55%, telecommunications 49%, sanitation and landfill 48%, electric service 46%, water and sewer 61%. The total overall revenue for SMA, including everything, is at 56%, and our overall SMA expenses are at 40%. So that's tracking along really nice, and I don't have anything further.
Thank you. All right. Now, we'll go, did you have something else?
Chris just reminded me, we have issued permits for Millicent, and they have begun their construction on the current plant site.
Now is my turn, okay. So, regular meetings, again, February 10th, March 10th, there are regular meetings. As far as reports, the AMI water meters, materials are still outstanding, we're still working on them. We're just waiting on outside vendors. Electric AMI meters, those aren't scheduled to be available until March. Still tracking that. As far as Jody and the mitigation credits needed for the landfill, we've actually had emails over the last 24 hours with her. We've got scheduled meetings the last week of the month, if my, yeah, the last week of the month to figure out the schedule for the rest of the year. Both meeting the Corps' requirements, United States Army Corps of Engineers requirements, and figuring out what exactly they need for their permits and then what we owe them. And then there is an archaeological survey that's gonna be required, so we'll have to go to an outside contractor for those. She is working with us. The contractor she had initially recommended isn't gonna be able to meet her timeline of this year, so she's gonna recommend a couple of other options for us. The Country Club lift station, those have been advertised, and we're gonna open those bids on February 4th. Traffic signs from Redwood, those are scheduled to ship on the 7th. PDG for the soccer fields, those bids will be open. They actually went out for advertisement this past weekend. Those bids will be open tomorrow afternoon. And then the landfill, so we owe some reassurances to ODEQ after last week's incident. They are concerned about having damaged the leachate pipe. We don't think there's any damage to it, but they want QA/QC and our own engineering inspector to make sure that there was no permanent damage to those pipes. And that was just it was a mishap with the folks installing the liner near the leachate pipe, installing it incorrectly, which resulted in a little fire that we put out, took the proper measures to make sure it stayed out and was out. And now we just gotta make sure there was no damage to the pipe itself. As far as city projects, the LED, for those of you driving on the east end of town, that sucker is up, it's running, and cycling through photos, and maybe we put up the photo of the pool in the aquatic center. Absolutely, we can do that and put that up on that sign. But that sign is up and running, and it looks pretty sharp. If you've seen it, it looks pretty sharp. Sir, that is council.
All right, I'd just like to make an announcement for the public that on January 30th from 2 to 4, we're going to have a welcome to Salisaw reception get-together over in the Wheeler Event Center for Mr. Heverly. So you can put that on your calendars, January 30th from 2 to 4. We're going to have a welcome to Salisaw event for Mr. Heverly. And a welcome event for him.
At the Wheeler Event Center,
Wheeler
ma'am.
Event Center on 30th at 2 to 4.
They had me at free food.
Reception for everyone want to meet and greet, if you want to call it that too, okay?
Oh, no. Those are free. Yeah. Somebody's gonna have to start passing a hat sooner or later.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. We'll go right into our SMA meeting. I'm gonna call that meeting to order with a quorum. Item 4, discussion and, let's review the minutes first. Let's, possible action on minutes of regular meeting of December 9th, 2024.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Now, item 4, discussion possible action on staff's request to reinvest a Salisaw Municipal Authority certificate of deposit with a local bank for 329 days at 4.76% interest.
Make a motion, we approve the reinvest the South Municipal Authority certificate of deposit with local bank for 329 days at 4.76%.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Okay, item 5, we have 2 items on item 5. We have discussion and possible action on items related to the water system improvements, East Drake Road project. Who wants to talk about that one? Keith?
We opened the bids on that last week. Scott Neal has recommended that we award this to Jim Bray Plumbing. For most of you who don't know, Jim Bray Plumbing is actually a division of R.W. and Sons, which R.W. and Sons has done a lot of sewer and water work for us in town. And staff and the engineer do recommend that we award this bid to Jim Bray Plumbing.
Need 2 motions on this, right, Kim?
Yeah. Make
Need
a motion.
to accept the bids first.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton, Yes. Martin?
Yes. Now we need a motion on the action.
Make a motion, we award the contract to Jim Bray Plumbing in the amount of $138,740 and authorize the general manager to sign necessary documents upon receiving approval from the city attorney.
And Mr. Jordan, are you okay with this?
Yes, Mayor. Second.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Moody?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Any other administrative reports?
No, sir.
Then we'll have another motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moody?
Yes.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Thank you all for being here this evening. I appreciate you very much.